Welcome back, everybody. This is Eric here with Iraq Veteran 8888. Today, we've got another top 5 video for you. All right, and I've got a special guest here with me today, Mike, Mr. Guns and Gear, one of my favorite human beings on the planet.
Thank you.
Cannot have a better person to do this with me today. We're going to be talking about the top 5 guns
to survive a riot.
Yep. This one's going to ruffle some feathers.
Yeah, it's a timely piece, though. So we have a few options here laid out. Different types of guns, categories that may help you survive a riot.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, some of the examples that we have here have some, maybe historical significance in the world of rioting. So maybe you'll notice a few, additions here. So, all right, let's just go down the line. Well, you pick. Which one?
All right, I think we'll start there, which is something that a lot of folks are going to look at. Obviously, a 12-gauge shotgun, short, has the brace on there. You could fit that in some backpacks, probably, so you could have it when you need it. And in terms of firepower, it certainly will do the job. That said, how many rounds does this hold?
You can get 3 in the tube and 1 in the chamber. Now, because this one is based on a Model 1100, you can't ghost load it on the carrier like you can a Benelli, unfortunately. Right. So if this was more of a Benelli pattern, you'd be able to fit 5 in it, which is pretty phenomenal. But it does, 1 in the chamber, 3 in the tube, and that's 12 gauge. And this falls into that like firearm category. Right. The way that this brace collapses, you notice that it won't go all the way shut. And that's because that would make the gun overall length less than 26 inches. So the minimum collapsible length of the firearm must be 26 inches or greater. And that's also has to do with the way that the length of the barrel as well. You know, you could in theory make the barrel a little shorter, but they have to stick with a certain barrel length and keep the brace assembly a certain size to get around that. Yep. So it's a smooth bore firearm.
Correct, makes it a firearm. That said, I mean, it looks good. Barrel's pretty close to flush there, so I think they did a good job with it. And, with 12-gauge buckshot, people aren't going to really be charging your position, let's say, after the first time it's used. So
you pull that out, and it's definitely going to open up some eyes. And what I like, too, is when you shoot this thing, you can feel the fire coming off of it. It's nuts, okay? All right, so we're going to go on to number 2 in this lineup. Okay, Beretta 92. So why did I pick a 92 instead of any other type of gun? You know, this is kind of an older pistol design compared to some of the other plastic fantastics that are out there. Well, you might recall the Roof Koreans during the LA riots, and you saw that gentleman in the vest with the buzz cut out there popping shots off at rioters. Yep. And he was using a 92. So we thought it'd be kind of a little a homage there to our Roof Korean friends.
And there's a lot of, if you look up, just Google that, Riot, you'll see a lot of kind of famous at this point photos, and just check out the guns they were using. They were using this. One guy had a Daewoo. There was an AR-15. So, and they survived the riot, so they did well. But a semi-automatic pistol definitely will get the job done. You'll want something, of course, with good capacity, and the Beretta has it. 15 or 17 round mags will fit in there flush, so it's good to go. It's also a very reliable gun, very proven gun, and that's definitely something you want.
Absolutely. One thing of note with the Roof Koreans during the LA riots, it is a term of endearment, of course. You know, we love the Roof Koreans. When you think about compulsory military service in South Korea, I mean, a lot of those guys are military trained, and that says a lot for what that can do for a society, right? You know, when I'm not saying whether I'm for or against that, but it is interesting that they came together and they knew what they needed to do, and they were trained enough with handling firearms to be able to protect their business, and they got their rice sandbags and they did what they needed to do. And I think that's admirable. And the LA riots inspired a lot of people to protect their businesses, and the Roof Koreans have become synonymous with Americans protecting their property and their valuables and each other, and being an integral part of their community. So that moment is going to go down in history as a moment where Americans got together and protected themselves, and definitely nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely. And on my Facebook page and YouTube comments, they've been referenced a lot lately as an inspirational story, really, for what we're going through currently. So
it definitely resonates, just as hard now as it did, back when it happened. So, all right, another type of gun that would be really handy to survive a riot, because we've seen it happen. You might be familiar with one instance where a firearm very similar to this was used to definitely de-escalate a situation. All right, this is a Delton Sport. You know, kind of a basic bare bones AR with a basic dot on it, red dot, Holosun red dot. And, you know, this is not a super expensive AR. You don't have to spend a lot of money on an AR to get something decent. Now, the gun in question that we're referring to is an optics ready Smith & Wesson Sport, which I don't have, but this is Delton's kind of take on that. And Chad and I actually did a video on this gun the other day. I don't think it's gone live yet, but it was shooting really good. Really nice accuracy. An AR does not have to be expensive to be good, you know?
No. I actually have a video on a Delton that's similar, a little bit more, I guess, fancy, but it ran well. I had zero issues with it at all. I also have a Smith & Wesson M&P 2 Sport that has thousands of rounds through it that has never had a malfunction. So ARs are lightweight, handy, have good capacity, change the mags real easy, put any sort of accessory on there that you want. I mean, it's definitely one to look at.
Oh, the gentleman in question also cleared a stoppage very quickly while under attack. So it is a very easy firearm to manipulate in terms of manual of arms. They are very familiar to lots of people, and they're very simple overall to use. And what I like about the AR-15 as well is that it's a very easy gun for smaller statured people to shoot. The recoil, especially on a DI gun, it's a very smooth recoil impulse, real easy to shoot. This is a great gun for smaller frame folks, ladies, younger folks. It is just a fantastic gun that can fill a lot of different useful niches, even beyond surviving a riot. Dare I say, you can survive just about any situation that is put before you. It doesn't matter if you're going to go out and hunt coyotes or if you're going to go out and survive a riot. These guns are America's rifle.
I was about to say there's a reason they're the #1 rifle in America, by far. Nothing else is even close.
Absolutely. So we've got our shotgun option, our pistol option, our rifle option. You know, oddly enough, it seems that there's a general overall theme that reoccurs in these 5 guns videos. We always go back to certain guns. That's because they have such universal appeal. And so let's move on to something that maybe some of you guys have never heard of. Let's go to a sub gun now.
Okay,
Mike.
Yep. So what we have here, this is a HK UMP. I changed the stock out. It comes with a different stock, but we also have it suppressed here with a Surefire can on there. Magazine, 35 rounds. This one's, of course, is select fire. You can fire in burst or full auto. I mean, super reliable, very lightweight. You can fold it up, make it nice and compact, put it in a backpack, something like that. Of course, without the suppressor on there, it would be even shorter, but it's got good firepower. And this one, it will be a little bit quieter as well.
Oh yeah, quiet and lots of decent capacity, good rate of fire. Also worth mentioning, we have always been big proponents for defensive firearms having a weapons light on them. He does have a small weapons light on this one. Identifying your threat is very important. You don't want to accidentally engage the wrong person.
Absolutely.
I believe that people tend to undervalue how important that is. The only thing I could add to our lineup here in terms of accessories would be, I believe that every firearm, every defensive firearm needs a sling as well. We don't have slings on these, so we need to correct that.
Especially if you're in a riot where there's people coming at you all around you.
Yep.
The possibility of a weapons grab is very real.
Yeah, and in fact, there was that one situation where that Marine Corps veteran that was pulling security, whatever, I believe one of the rioters or looters pulled an AR or a gun out of one of the police car or whatever, and he snatched it, got it back from him.
Yep.
So a sling allows you to keep control of your weapon as well. Your weapon is useless to you if someone takes it from you.
Absolutely.
So the sling definitely makes that a lot harder for someone to take your weapon from you. And people tend to not think you might need both hands as well. So sometimes being able to sling the rifle real quick and grab somebody and help them, or pick something up and carry something to free up your hands, or grab a cell phone, call for help, whatever you might need. It's just important to be able to have control of your firearm at all times and be able to have access to your hands if you need them. Okay, so let's say that maybe you don't want to go down this rabbit hole in terms of force, and you want maybe a slightly reduced type of force. All right, so we got a really special little gun right here. This is a Model 278, 37 millimeter gas gun. Okay, and this is a Riot gun. And oddly enough, I bought this particular gun, came out of a property room in Brunswick, the city of Brunswick in Savannah.
Nice.
Or, near Savannah there. So this came from the Brunswick Police Department. And this particular one's a 37, and it's a smoothie, so it's not rifled. And you can shoot gas out of it, you know, tear gas, smoke grenades. I'm sure some people make like bird bombs and cluster bombs and things.
They do, and there's a company that also makes 37 millimeter buckshot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of lead going down range right there.
It certainly is. And you notice that, you know, this is a Smith & Wesson product, and notice this frame. I believe that's an N frame with the square butt, or is that a K frame? I don't remember.
I think it's a K.
I think it is a K frame. But you notice that the stock assembly that is on this particular revolver frame is exactly the same. It'll fit any standard K frame revolver. So this is one of the few stocks that will actually fit a Smith & Wesson K frame revolver.
Yep, and there's no paperwork needed for this as well. That's one thing to point out. So anybody can own a 37 millimeter grenade launcher.
Yep.
It's very cool. And there's actually a lot of them out there.
Oh, yeah.
LMT makes one that adapts to AR-15s that civilians can purchase. 40 millimeter versions are also out there as well.
Absolutely. It's also worth noting, just for some of you tech nerds out there that like Star Wars and stuff, Boba Fett's blaster is modeled after this gun. So you guys might notice the lines are very familiar. Smith & Wesson made a couple of different models of this, one with a wooden stock, and the other one had a very, very uncommon, like metal, you know, a little bit more of a tactical stock. And the tactical stock version is the one that Boba Fett's blaster is modeled after in Star Wars. Just an interesting little movie history there for you.
All right. So that's the top 5.
All right, but we've got a wild card.
Always.
And you guys have seen the smoke grenade sitting here the whole time too. You know, maybe you got to pop smoke, who knows?
Yep.
It's like the fellow in Savannah just got in some hot water over throwing a smoke grenade into a crowd.
Yeah, that was a suboptimal decision.
Definitely.
I would say.
All right, so what if we need to just release a pack of hornets on a mob? Now, not a mob that's trying to kill you. Let's just say, remember, top 5 guns are satire. We're not suggesting go out and do horrible things and make poor decisions. But if your life's in danger and you know it's in danger and you feel like your time is up and the last resort is to protect yourself, that is the meaning of this type of stuff. Firearms should be used as a last resort. You know, you always want to use your verbal judo. Okay, that's important. So just keep that in mind. But let's just say, for whatever case, all right, this is our M16 lower. We got it set up with the CMMG 22 upper, and we got these 50-round drums, and you can let loose walls of lead with this little guy.
And it's suppressed as well. Again, very, very quiet.
Yep.
It's definitely something that would get someone's attention for sure. Obviously,
or not.
Right. Doesn't have quite the same lethality as some options here, but sometimes that's a good thing. You know, there are nations that use 22s around the world for military service for certain roles. But yeah.
Every time we've gone to a random shoot or to hang out, or we have friends over at the farm or at the house, and we break this thing out, it always puts a smile on everyone's face, because there's just something about shooting full auto 22. It just, it's so much fun. It's so gratifying.
Especially with a short barrel like this suppressed. I have a full auto 22 as well, and yeah, they're smile machines.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, very inexpensive to shoot. So from a standpoint of just having a gun that is just awfully fun to shoot and you can actually afford to feed it, even if you don't have a machine gun lower and you just want to run the CMMG 22 upper, I highly recommend them. You guys might be familiar with the meltdown video we did, and I was absolutely shocked to see how long that upper took before it finally started to get really dirty. And the 22s operate at such a lower pressure, you know, they just really don't get that crazy hot enough. I mean, as long as they don't get too fouled out and dirty, they generally just keep on running, you know? Just a lot of fun. So, guys, this has been Top 5 Guns. We hope you enjoyed today's presentation. It is always a pleasure to have Mike on my channel, and we're going to have other projects coming up. I'm going to be visiting Mike because he's been down to our neck of the woods several times to film, but I've never been up to his place. So expect some content, hopefully sooner than later, and I'll come up to your place.
Absolutely,
we'll do some stuff, man.
Thanks for having me on.
Dude, appreciate it. Guys, have a good day. We'll see you next time. Many more videos on the way.